All right, so let's pull some phrases or some things that we can do some pre-roll videos for that. Like, what are some things that I can do some little 10, 15, 20-second newsfeed video, ad videos? Does anybody remember? Well, that's a nice saying. I could weave that in, certainly. You want me to do that? Okay. Let's do some stuff that was specifically in the video itself or in the content that I was talking about. I know, that's a great thing. Plus, you're in trance right now. I don't know if you realize that or not. That's why it's so hard for you to recall things. That's okay. You're unconscious, mine knows. All right, talking about sourcing products. So what were some of the important things about sourcing? What was the story I used for sourcing products the first time, right? It was so much less than I thought it would be that I thought I made a mistake. So my big sourcing mistake, something like that, right?
Could you ask them,
Yes. I like that. Embarrassed to try to get rich, right? That's what I put here for us. Okay, one more. Does it have to be 1858? Okay.
It comes from the same company, has two different names.
Right. Yeah, well, you guys know the story of the Kirkland brand, right? So Costco has this rule that they can't sell anything unless it's an exact 14% profit margin or some crap like that. I can't remember what it is. So they were literally creating a unique SKU with a unique product only sold there for a 14% profit margin, therefore end running the very rule that created it in the first place, right? But Kirkland is Costco's private label brand. Walmart's, right? All right, so I'm going to use the Kirkland example because PepsiCo is another really good example of that. So Pepsi owns Taco Bell. Pepsi owns, I believe, Pizza Hut or Domino's. Tropicana, I believe, is owned by Pepsi as well. But actually a better one is this, is the same company that owns Olive Garden also owns Red Lobster. They're essentially private labeled. Not exactly, but nobody will pay that close of attention. Okay, broken clock right twice a day. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do this one, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. All right, so. You ever heard the phrase that a broken clock is right twice a day? Well, I'll tell you what, a correct clock is right all the time, every single second of the day. And when it comes to sourcing products on Amazon, there is a correct way. Now, I will tell you, there are people who do it incorrectly and do okay, but wouldn't you rather do it correctly and do better than okay? In this video, we're going to break down the do's and don'ts for selling products on Amazon and creating your own private label version of those products. Yeah, if you just believe you can come up with the answer, oftentimes you can, right? There's a saying in consulting, often wrong but never in doubt, and I live by that, right? I'm often wrong, but I am never in doubt. Okay, my big sourcing mistake. We'll do this one, and then we're going to circle back and do video 2 ones. Okay. The first time I started selling on Amazon was 2012, and I made a mistake that, for me, I'm not embarrassed by, but I'm not a normal person. If I was normal, I should be embarrassed by this. Because I go back to my business partner, I say, hey, we can get started in this Amazon business, and you won't believe, we can get started with just like a couple products. We don't even have to touch them, and we can put them on Amazon. He goes, you got to be mistaken. And I was like, well, yeah, now that I say it out loud, that doesn't seem possible. But I wasn't mistaken. Thank God I wasn't mistaken. And so many people, as a result, have followed and benefited from some of these product sourcing secrets that we're going to talk about on this training for how to start and be successful with your own Amazon business. Cool. Hopefully you guys are starting to see certain distinct patterns in use. The idea is repeated exposure usually allow you to learn quicker. So there's certain devices I keep utilizing over and over again. Hopefully you're picking up on some of these. Unconsciously, you probably are. All right, let's do the next one. Now listen, if you're online and you see ads like these on your news feed, then you're like, yeah, you want to do better than what your financial situation looks like right now. But very often when you do these things, you're like, I don't want to tell anybody what I'm doing because I want to be more successful, but I'm not exactly enthusiastic or excited about the path I'm choosing. And I only bring that up because a lot of people mention that. But then when we say to them, hey, listen, when you can tell somebody I sell products on Amazon, it's amazing what a 180 is. You feel better doing it, and people feel better hearing about it. Now, I don't know if that makes a difference to you or not, but I tell you what could make a difference. The more you know about Amazon and how it works, the more effective you can be on it. So I invite you to dive in further with us and really specifically find out the types of products you can sell on Amazon and how you can source them. I didn't really like that one, but that's why we shoot 4 of them. Maybe there's something there. All right, cool. Last one, and then we're going to swing to the next one. All right. Have you ever been in a situation where you want to go to, say, Olive Garden? You're in the mood for Italian food, right? And your wife or your partner says, no, I want to go to Red Lobster, seafood. And you're arguing back and forth, and you're going to go to one or the other. Eventually, you settle on her choice or his choice. You lose, and then you go there and you eat. Now, who got business that night? Didn't matter, because the same company owns both of them. Now, why would a company who owns this product not just say, we sell everything, but specifically call Red Lobster, and specifically call Olive Garden, Olive Garden? Believe it or not, something as simple as this can make all the difference when you start selling on Amazon. If you understand this one little insight, there's a lot more you can do. Now, here's the deal. When you go and understand how to source products and sell them on Amazon, you're going to get a bunch of these little insights that don't, on the surface of them, seem to make sense or aren't obvious, but that's where all the money's to be made. So why don't you check this out? Why don't you dive into this, and we're going to break down for you what it takes to be successful on Amazon. All right. Video 2. Anybody remember what video 2 was about? Best products to sell. Yeah, I got them right here. So, see, those are easy questions because they're right on your paper, right? Does somebody remember something about that, or even something related to a question about the best product to sell on Amazon? High demand, low supply, right? Okay, so we could do something on high demand. Right. Boring old sunscreen. Okay. That's a great one. We're going to do that one. God, I wish I could sell all the products. That's what I'm saying, right? All right, one more. Let's do one more. What else we got? Product sourcing, product selection. Product selection. Best products to sell on Amazon. High demand, low supply. Every day I see new products. Boring old sunscreen. How boring products can do. There you go. Yeah, I disagree with that, but it sounds nice. Yeah, I mean, we used to see this all the time with these Amazon sellers. So this lady's like, well, I'm a triple board certified, esthetician, so I'm going to sell whatever estheticians do. I don't even know, right? And Will and I would look at each other like, oh, no, not this again, right? Because they would say, well, I know the business, and I know that this is important, right? It's like, I don't know this. I don't care. It's a math equation for me, right? It's like, if I could sell this product and make this amount of money, I mean, the joke we always used to say is we sold skincare products. At the time, I look a little bit better now. I'm like, look at this. Do I look like I know about skincare products? I don't. I don't know them, but I know how to sell them. And people are like, oh, okay. But yeah, oftentimes because you know so much about a product, you're less likely to actually get it off the ground. But we don't need to get into that. Okay. I know. Oh yeah, me too, right? It's all a formula. But that's, we got to lift the skirt up a little bit at a time. High demand, low supply. Okay. By the way, it's a mental picture for you. Mental picture, right? On Amazon, there are people that sell products and there are people that buy products. Now, for every person who sells a product, can you imagine how many people are buying them? It's like 1 to 1,000, 1 to 10,000, maybe even more than that. And what's really interesting is every single day there are new products that people want to buy on Amazon but are having trouble finding them because they don't exist or they're not easy to locate. So if you want to, do good for the world, make some money, have some fun, maybe you should consider selling on Amazon. If that's the case, there are certain products that just do really well because they have low supply, high demand. If you'd like to know more, go ahead and dive in, and we're going to unpack this for you. All right. Do the Sunscreen One here, right? Very often when we build an online business, we get into this whole concept of we're going to change people's lives. We're going to create information products and we're going to show them things and it's going to make the world a better place. And then when you sell boring products on Amazon like sunscreen, cookie cutters and all that kind of stuff, I don't think anybody's life gets truly changed. It's just for the person selling it. Because if you sell a lot of those things, all of a sudden you say, thank God for sunscreen, or thank God for whatever it is that tens of thousands of people are now turning to Amazon for every single day to buy. Certain products, Amazon will tell you, we need more of these, we want you to sell them. And if you're smart enough to pick them out or have a guide like me to help you, you can do pretty well. If you don't want to know more information, we break this down over a series of videos so you can be successful selling on Amazon. Okay? The second half of the day is always harder for the audience. You get tired very easily, and you're all ADD entrepreneurs, so I'm seeing you kind of starting to ebb out. All right, so deep breath. We'll just do one more. We'll do 3 instead of 4. Every day I see new products. All right. Remember that movie where you said, I see dead people? That's like my life with Amazon products, is every single day I see new Amazon product opportunities pop up and I say, gosh, I wish I could just show this to somebody, say, hey, look at this, here's a huge opportunity. And if I could do that, I wouldn't need to do much more because they would see it too. They say, oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Because it's very clear on Amazon, when you do certain types of searches, the types of products that people want and the types of products that they're getting and how different those two are. So guess what? If we can give them the product that they want, and that's easier than you think, shouldn't you be rewarded? Well, we break that down and a lot more in the information and training series that we have on Amazon product selection, the best products to sell, and a whole lot more. I can't wait for you to dive in and see for yourself. Okay? Done. Yeah, that's I'm glad you guys brought that up. So the concept is hook. So first of all, what is a hook, right? That's a very important question to ask. So ideally, a hook is that thing that is so unique and so different to the typical experience that it pulls the person in. It's impossible to ignore because it's so foreign to what they're used to experiencing in that context. Now, bonus points if it's also relevant. In this particular case, since we're not making a sale, our hook doesn't have to be that relevant. I see dead people. I didn't name the movie, by the way, and that was done intentionally. And then I shifted that over to I see products every day I could sell on Amazon. So that just came to me simply because, again, the conversation we had earlier, we're taking an unknown experience, an audience that's probably not used to this, and linking it to a known experience. That is such a part of our everybody knows I see dead people, even if they haven't seen the movie, right? So I took an unknown experience and linked it, but I wanted to be different. I wanted to be interesting. I wanted this person to say, well, why is that? I got to know more. I got to hear more. And so that's what a hook is. Now, how do I come up with these hooks? That's a great question. So if we live in strategy as opposed to tactics, what I did with strategy, I really wanted to understand the underlying elements of what makes a great hook. Not how to write great hooks, but what are the commonalities? So I would go and I would look at all these headlines and all these leads, all these email subject lines, all these article titles, right? And I would make patterns. I would say, okay, if I had to describe this hook or this really good headline, give it a characteristic, what would I call it? So what's a good hook somebody's seen recently in their marketing or in some sort of marketing that just leaps out at you?
I like Dan Kennedy, what if everything you've heard about
Right.
and then he comes into a second line. The one secret
Totally, right? So that, that's a powerful hook as long as it's not overused in the market you're in. So you always got to filter it through your marketing. So the idea in that particular case is everything you've heard about blank is wrong is a formula. That's a tactical approach. What's the strategy behind that? Why is that effective? What's the characteristic of everything you heard about blank is wrong? What makes that so compelling? So there's curiosity, definitely. And all good hooks have multiple characteristics. So there's curiosity. What else?
It's also not their fault.
Yeah, so here's a psychological concept. And this is why this becomes easier the more you do this. Is people are more scared of what they're already doing being disastrous than what they might be able to do in the future. Okay? Let me put it to you another way. There was a saying, I read it in an old sales book. He goes, I'll stay up all night trying to keep $50 that's already in my pocket as opposed to go out, spend 2 minutes trying to earn $200. People are more scared about getting things taken away from them. That's why you'll never get guns taken away from Americans, by the way. Because they feel like they're entitled to them. Politics aside, once you give something to somebody and once you take it away, it's disastrous. Tesla's having that problem right now with this whole charging thing. They give it to you, then they take it away. Netflix gave you no commercials, and now they're talking about adding commercials. That's a tough position to be in. So everything you knew about blank is wrong. You start to say, oh my God, my life is a lie. I'm scared that I'm doing something that if I continue in my naivety to continue to do this, I'm just going to lead myself down a disastrous path that I could have easily prevented. That's the hook. So less important is the template of everything you know about blank is wrong, and more important is there things people are doing every single day that are slowly leading them to disaster, but they're hidden, right? So one of the things that I always think about on Amazon as an example of that is like, Amazon is the business hidden in plain sight. It's like, you have no idea that when you go and buy products on Amazon, you make guys like me rich. That's a compelling hook, right? I love the fact that you're buying products on Amazon because guys like me are getting rich for you doing it. And they're like, what do you mean? Oh, didn't you know? If you've heard me say, listen, trying to make money online without Amazon's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. Because 25% of the money flows on Amazon, et cetera, et cetera. That's that same kind of a hook. That hook is like, oh man, whatever you're doing right now is disastrous. And I'm going to convince you to reconsider doing it with some information. Now that's a powerful hook. So that's a type of hook. Like what's another really good hook? I'll tell you one of the favorite hooks I always go for are the ones that are like the opposite, right? Like I'll give you a great example of a hook right now. You could run this hook and do really well. Why keto is making everyone fatter. And they're like, oh shit. Because everybody's talking about how keto is this great diet. It's the answer. And you say, why keto's making you fatter, right? And then we just got to hope it's true. We got to figure out how to make that true. If it's not true, then we can say, why keto's likely making you fatter. And I'm sure we could justify that, right? That's a powerful hook, though. We take a conventionally held belief and we put it on its head. So if I was selling against Amazon, I could say something like every time a new Amazon seller shows up online, we laugh because they don't know the following 4 things. That's like, oh my God. That's ballsy. You attack it. I'll give you a good hook we sold on Amazon. When we'd sell a product on Amazon and then Dr. Oz would talk about it, we'd say, finally, Dr. Oz has discovered what we've known for years. What's the positioning of that? That we're above Dr. Oz, who's the most influential person in that market. So we hooked this. Every other seller was selling it like, as mentioned on Dr. Oz, as mentioned on Dr. Oz, as seen on Dr. Oz. This was before they got rid of all that stuff, because now you can't do that anymore. But back then, everybody was mentioning that. And we were like, yes, finally Dr. Oz discovered what we've known for years. And now we're a hook, because we're different than everybody else in the marketplace. Number one way you come up with hooks is find a way to be different than everybody else in the marketplace that's meaningful. Because the first time I teach this to anybody, they're going to go write an email subject line that says, this is something stupid, like elephants, power bars, and Amazon. That's not a hook. That's 3 random word associations combined together, but that's the tendency. It should be meaningful. So what's the meaningful hook? Now, I will tell you, I get complacent in this all the time. We tend to become less creative when we start throwing ads out, because it becomes rote. But if you can work through the process, so this was a hook. This conference was a hook. Watch me build a funnel. Like, you guys paid money to watch me create advertising. I mean, who does that, right? But it was interesting enough. It was a solution, and it was kind of cool, and we didn't really sell it that hard, and now here we are. But that was a hook, and I thought that was interesting. The more we could actually live in our businesses building hooks these days, and the less that we'd have to do the tactical stuff. The hook, so one of the best things you can do is start going back and looking through hooks again.